Hello, I'm Wallace Allen. This is Empire Talks Back. When life brings you lemons, you have to make lemonade. When you have decisions to make, you have to remember the one thing that you can control is your attitude. Jasmin Smith got ran over by a SUV. She is now beautifully scarred, and she's going to tell you about that right after this break.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
We're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, and I want to introduce you to Miss Jasmin Smith. She's going to tell you what it means to be beautifully scarred. Jasmin, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. I can see the beautiful part.
Thank you so much.
Talk to us about the scarred part. Jasmin, you were in an accident in, November of 2016.
Yes.
And you woke up from a coma sometime in
December.
2016. 3
Yes.
weeks later.
Yes.
Tell us what happened. And I know this is traumatic for you, but you're the one that coined the phrase.
Yes.
Trauma to triumph.
Yes.
Okay,
That's my phrase.
That's your
my
phrase.
Don't trademark it. That's mine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmin Smith.
And they're right behind me.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmin Smith. Basically, November 22nd, 2016, I got ran over by an SUV. I died 3 times. I was in a coma for 3 weeks. When I woke up, I didn't know what happened. And long story short, I couldn't walk nor talk. And the feeling of you feeling like you could get up and walk and then you couldn't even talk. And I had a trach in my throat, excuse me. And I was dominantly right-handed, so when they did run me over, I have a brachial plexus injury. As you can see my hand. I got out the hospital March 23rd of 2017. So I had to learn how to walk and talk all over again. That experience in my life
I don't know about your
completely.
walking, but your talking is excellent.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh no, I know how to sound walk now. Look, and I slay. But the thing is that I've learned through that, and I call it beautifully scarred because I'm scarred on the outside, and I'm also scarred on the inside. But just because I'm scarred, I'm still beautifully scarred with the scars. I know that they're there, but I don't have to allow it to have any effect on me. It's a choice that I chose to make, to have a good attitude about what I'm doing in my life and what I'm here to do, because I survived this. So I'm learning, and I have learned, and I'm still continuing on learning to turn my trauma into triumph. Because what else can I do? I'm not going to sit here in 2019 and still be in this place when it's 2020. I'm going to make moves, and I want to help people that has been through something like mine, similar, or somebody just going through something. I've been depressed. I've been in the depression. I've gone through a lot of very ups and downs of homelessness, of people not being there. That's when you see when your real friends and stuff is, for real, when stuff like that go down. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But the ultimate goal out of everything, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful for each and every one, down to the doctors, down to everyone. But the person who I give the most credit to is me. Because if it wasn't for the choice that I made to get out of that, of that, I wouldn't be here. And a lot of times we go through stuff, you guys, and it's something I learned, that we don't give us credit. It look like we gotta look to other people to give credit, or we gotta watch this person on TV to make it feel like they're giving us credit. No, you gotta give yourself the credit.
In our earlier conversation, you made it clear to me that you are a very spiritual person.
Yes.
And that as you speak to you, as you're doing now as the resource for your power, you're reaching for what you also consider to be your God connection.
Yes.
So as you take credit for this, you're taking credit for your relationship with God.
Yes,
and I
sir.
want to make that clear to our listeners.
Yes,
So that
yes.
that is exactly what you have expressed earlier.
Yes.
So I want you to continue to express yourself, but every now and then I may need to jump in.
Oh yeah, no more than that. No, I mean no more than that. No problem. Of course, that's how I got through it. Is I walk by faith and not by sight. And if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't know where I would be. And I thank Him on a daily basis. Because if it wasn't for him to put that drive in me, I wouldn't be here. So yes, I do give him thanks first. But I just gave myself the recognition, because I know a lot of the times when we're in them traumatic places, yeah, we pray, but the person we beat up the most is ourselves. The person that we're looking to is us. And I'm just being honest. I know God come first.
But God
You
isn't
know?
the one that has to get up out of that bed and walk.
I have to do it because he said there's a choice.
Yes.
And so the choice I made was to move forward.
So once again, you have explained wonderfully what you mean when you say beautifully scarred. We see your arm,
Yes.
but we also see that little bounce in your
Oh,
walk.
you know,
okay?
hey, that's why I said I still slay. I can still get in
Okay.
there.
Very good.
I can still do electric slide.
Okay, so we can invite you to the birthday party.
Oh, yes, I would
Okay,
love to
so you-
come. Look, I would love to come.
With this type of trauma,
Yes.
you also have things that we kind of depend on to happen, you know, in terms of good faith, in terms of hospitalization, the doctor, the government, the Social Security.
Yes.
What was your care like? What was the cost factor? I'm hearing you talk about homelessness and that
Okay.
kind of issue during your
My
trauma here.
yeah. Okay, so in between that time, especially with Social Security, you just see. I've always worked. Number one, before my accident happened, I had 2 jobs, and I was going to Cal State Dominguez Hills, which I'm going back now. Okay,
You're in school now.
I'm in school right now, and for you to come from a hard worker to where you got to depend on the government, and it's like you would think not to. You know, I know people. It's not just me in the world. But the simple fact, like what happened to me in the traumatic accident, you think you would have more help. You don't. You have to figure it out, find it, and fight and fight. I know life is a fight, but for something like that, you would think that your government would kind of back you up just a little bit. In that state of helping, because you lose so much in the in-between time. I lost my home. I couldn't drive no more. It was a lot of things that came out of that. And then what happened was I was homeless because we couldn't find a place.
Now you were working.
Yes.
How many jobs were you working? You were in school. You look like you're 19 now, so it's hard
Oh,
for me
yeah,
to look
no.
back to how old you were, how much work you've done in before that time frame. But when you say you've always worked, what kind of work were you doing prior to this accident?
I did security. I did a lot of security because security really worked with me while I was in college.
Yes.
Because I already have my AA, I'm working on my BA, and I'm going all the way to my PhD. So, but I was already doing that. So security worked out a lot for me. Then I started mentoring. So I was mentoring too,
But
which
there
I
was-
loved.
there
I
was
loved it so
withholding.
much. Huh?
People were withholding, you were paying into Social Security.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
it's-
we often hear people talk about Social Security as an entitlement, as though that money just came from nowhere, but you put into that money.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So
yes,
how
for a
hard
long
was it for
time.
you to get Social Security?
It took me 2 years.
2 years.
It was based on the hospital, the way they wrote it, as if like I'll be healed in a year. And I remind you, I got ran over. Okay, so I got metal in my body. I have pins. I have metal that's hooking my pelvis together. I can't, there's possibly what they said, but I walk by faith and not by sight, that I will never be able to use my arm again. And I would need a caregiver for life. So the way the lady wrote the stuff to I guess for the Social Security, I guess they just thought I guess
That
they
you'll
thought
just
that
be
I was
well.
I'll just be well within a year. And then my mother was my POA, power of attorney, and she, my mother, I give her that. I love her. She was really there for me, and she tried the second time, it didn't work. It was last year when I finally saw the judge, and I had to go to the third time, the hearing, and that's when I got granted. And I had used an attorney to do so. And in between that time, I did get the, what was that? What do they give you when you work? And it's like if you
Disability?
get fired or something. So it's
Unemployment, disability?
yes, unemployment, disability. Yes, sir. So I did receive that, but you only get a certain amount. And so I was sitting there waiting, and it was just, I had to work it out. My parents helped me out with my bills and stuff like that, because I'm 31, I look 19, but I'm 31, and I'm like, I don't want to stay with my parents. When it was time for it too, yeah, I did, but at the same time, I just became, I've always been independent, so that was my main thing. So it was just horrible. I give it to the nurses and the doctors that were truly, wholeheartedly, genuinely there. But other than that, it just wasn't great.
The people that ran over you, were they insured? Was it, or did they keep going? You don't have it. Was it hit
I
and
have
run?
no clue about that.
It was hit and run. That makes it even worse.
No, it's deeper than that too. But I just have to leave it in God's hands because it was, yeah.
Jasmin Smith, you have named your self trauma to triumph. You've named your movement Beautifully Scarred.
Yes.
What are you going to do with that?
Well, what I am going to do with that, I am going to reach out to women.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to wait a moment. We're going
Yes.
to take a short break.
Oh, no
And
problem.
when we come back, we're going to let you tell us more about your plans and how you plan to use your past to help define your future and help other people who may have a similar past be encouraged to also understand that beautifully scarred is a choice that they also can make.
Are you
We'll
sure?
be back right after this break.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Give your town a reason to celebrate, because every Goodwill item you bring home brings job training and more to your community. Goodwill, bring good home.
We're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Today's guest is Jasmin Smith. She declares herself beautifully scarred and moving from trauma to triumph. She got ran over by an SUV, was in a coma for 3 weeks, and woke up from that coma not remembering anything and has moved forward. And let me share with you her beautiful self. Miss Jasmin, you as a result of your accident, as a result of your empowerment and ability to move forward, you also now have a desire to share the ability to make that choice, to the ability to absorb and use that attitude with other people. Tell us how and what you've been doing to encourage people in their moment. Yes.
I do a lot of I do some speaking engagements. I started joining some associations of powerful women. You know, women. So, no against y'all men. But
wait a minute, we're not going to run past that. Like I don't know. I'm appreciative.
Us women.
I have my mama. Okay,
Yes.
this is Women's History Month.
Yes,
I have
see?
my wife. Now, the only thing about my wife is sometimes I wonder how she could put up with me all this time.
Hey.
But she has done so and done so in a wonderful way. I've got a sister. I've got 2 wonderful daughters.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Women are extremely important in my life.
Well, that's
And
awesome to
I hope
hear.
that, that they would all stand up and say, "No, he pretty cool."
Yeah,
All
I know.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're,
All right, good.
I think you're cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
The rest
So-
of you guys be quiet.
Okay,
all right?
look.
Hold on.
It take a lot for trust me. When you said she to put up with you, I know, I know. But when you are the one and her husband, it's not that what she's putting up with. It's what she's shaping you to be better, like you're doing with her.
Oh yeah, trying to change me to
Yeah.
make me better, right?
Now I'm just shaped not like that, but probably go get her a purse or something. Probably go get her some shoes. Look, because I seen that Saks Fifth Avenue.
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
goodness,
Just
my
probably throw that
goodness,
in
my
there.
goodness. Tell the secrets. Guys, pay attention there. Pay attention.
Hey, you heard. So no, basically what I am doing, I've been going out speaking, and I've been joining these women organizations. So I speak with them to network with these ladies to get my beautifully scarred out there. So I want to be a motivational speaker of some sort, or just a public speak to get that out there, because it's a lot of violence towards women. Not just domestic violence. It's other violences that are towards women that are not being approached or anything that is being done about that, especially within your own community. as far as that, because I deal with the victims of violent crimes. When you deal with them, to me, you know, I know it's, you know, they're funded by the state, but they only funded me a certain amount. I don't know what's going on about the hit and run thing. I have no clue. So my thing is here is to really reach out to those women, and not only to those women, those with disabilities, because now I'm on both sides of the fence, because I have a disability, going from one way, living 29 years from one way, to be 31 and having a certain, you know, change. That's a lot.
Yes, it
so
is.
and it shows me how it is for people that's been like that, people that are going to be like that. And so that's my thing, to get out there to motivate them. And still, just because you have a disability, you still got the ability to do something. And that's why the Beautifully Scarred coming, especially for the women, or, you know, nothing against men. It's just a woman, a man, you can have your home, and I'm not saying that you guys don't care or it doesn't affect you. You can have your whole arm chopped off, as long as you got some good shoes on your feet, a nice haircut, you guys are fine. A woman's face, her beauty, her clothing, that's us, you know. And I really want to get them out there to let them know about this, and also to make sure for them to be aware of who the company you keep around. So that's what I'm out here trying to do, to network, and hopefully, you know, network with you, you know.
We're going to let that thing about the shoe, you know, good shoe for a man, we're going to let that pass.
Yeah.
We'll argue about that another time.
Yes,
but I
sir.
do understand what you're saying about the fact that there's so much emphasis put on women's appearance, rightfully or wrongfully. I can't say which, because I've never seen an ugly woman.
Yes.
But at the same time, I chose my wife, and I think she's something special.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
there is some judgments always made.
Yes.
How we deal with that, once again, becomes really important.
Exactly.
Because beautiful has got to come from an internal position. Otherwise, you're going to be subject to everybody's opinion.
You're very
And
right.
those opinions are not necessarily based on what's good for you. You know, they can just be my opinion or someone else's opinion to manipulate you to do something else. Speaking about violence against women,
Yes.
the many types of violence against
yes.
women. In your conversation about this, are you ever including violence against women by women?
Both, men and women, because there's a lot of, you know.
How can a woman be violent to another woman without saying anything? Maybe with the look?
There's called emotional, just like anything. I'm a domestic violence survivor, and also going to be an advocate as well. I always say, and not to say physical abuse does not hurt, but mental and emotional abuse is the worst. Because if you're looking down and you're trying to look better, not trying to look better than them, but you're trying to approve them better because you don't know yourself, you're going to be subject to them. And you're going to beat yourself up so bad internally. So that look, you already know what that means. Remember back in the day, I remember my mom gave me a look that was like a whole whooping in one.
And your imagination about that look was even stronger than any intentions that they may have had in terms of that look.
Yes, sir. Because I knew when my mom looked at me like that, she's
let's
going to
go
remember
back.
that.
Let's
But
go
yeah.
back to something I don't know that my children have said to me, is that I'd rather have you spank me than talk to me. Not that I'm trying to verbally abuse them, but the
Yes.
length of time, the conversation, the mental things that they have to end up thinking about. I think you could get a spanking and, you know, be cool by bedtime. I know that I was.
Yes,
But-
that was different back
Yeah,
then. So,
but
you know,
a-
we knew
but
that
a
back then. It's a little different
conversation,
now.
You know, a conversation. My father was the one assigned to do the spanking. You know, Mom would say, well, wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah, yes,
You know,
yes,
you
yes.
strike that
yes,
fear.
Yes.
But she didn't know, and found out later, that the thing that was worse than Dad's spanking was Mom's tears. And when she learned how to cry, and we talked to her about that a couple of weeks ago, when she learned how to cry on demand, that was a real terrible thing for a young man to see. Because all she had to say was, you know, start that little crying, and I turned inside out. The emotions are very, very strong, and to be able to build up a person's emotions,
Yes.
I think, is a special gift. And am sure that you have that gift.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have
yes.
that gift. You
Yes.
share very, very well. Can you give any testimonials of some of the people that you've gone to see who were in the down or in the gully?
And the stuff like
yes.
that. And I want to put this out here too. I know I got it from somewhere, but I would say just to touch base just a little bit on that emotion part. You have to first love yourself. I know when you're a kid and things like that, you know, things it's some things that's out of your hands. But it's not what you talk, it's how you talk and what you're presenting to that child, or how you present it to your spouse or whoever. You know, everything needs a conversation, because people are not always 100% right, and we're not 100% wrong. Sometimes these just need to be talked about and not yelled about. But one of the things I do remember, one of the people I saw, I went back to Loma Linda. I was at Loma Linda University Hospital, and I was called the East Campus. That's where the rehabilitation's at. That's why I learned how to walk and stuff. I remember when I was in there and I would see people just walking and everything, and this was barely when I started walking. And for me to go back in there and I saw this young lady, she had like some metal, like you could tell they just to keep her together, like had it digged up in here. And when I walked in, it was this lady named Lisa. It was a physical therapist. So, and I seen a girl, she was trying to do this, and I kept telling her, I said, go ahead, baby, keep trying. And Lisa, she looked up, she didn't even recognize who I was. I said, you helped me to win, now help me to go home. And I said, remember me? And she was so stunned to see, you know, when you come
The
from
progress.
something like that, it's a blessing to get those reactions, and I'm so thankful for them, because you have to have a lot of patience. So when I saw the girl doing that, and she looked, and I spoke to her, I said, you know, can I just talk? But she told me what happened. She got a very bad accident. Her boyfriend ended up dying in all this. And for me, even though my accident was very traumatic, to hear that and then have another life of a loved one, you are blessed and you are strong. And I had to look at myself. Like, it hurted what you went through, but look at this young lady. Now you got to be there for her. So I went and I just told her the things that I went through. And I said, you know what, you got to keep walking in faith and not by sight. But the main thing is, don't give up. Keep trying. Keep doing it. Ask Miss Lisa. I am living proof. And it just felt so good. And I just hugged her and she cried. And it just felt so good, because I remember when I was there, I didn't have nobody that came out and come talk to me. And that's what I want to do so bad, is to get in those hospitals, because they need people to come talk to them. It's hurtful. And it's just taking me back, because I'm not crying. I am hurt, of course, but I'm crying because I'm so blessed that I came through that. I'm not crying them stress tears no more. I'm crying because I'm blessed, and I could be out here to be a blessing to someone else. And that's the thing, because I know what it was like. And some people ain't got family like that. Some people ain't got people to talk to like that. But you know what? I'm here. And that's what Beautifully Scarred is about.
Each morning, I imagine, is an opportunity to take one attitude or another. What drives you to the attitude of fighting forward? What drives you to the attitude of ignoring, well, not ignoring the past, but using the past as fuel to go forward? What does that feel like as you wake up? And
When
I don't know how early you wake up. Whether
it
you wake
depends
up
on
and
the
see
day.
the sun, or
Look,
whether
it
you
depends
wait
on the
that
day.
long.
It depends on the day, because today I was trying to sleep, but I knew I had to get up. You know how that is. No, some mornings, when it's 21 days to make a habit. So, when I first woke up at the hospital, when things like that go on, you create a habit. So I remember it was negative, and trying to figure things out. But now I just remember that God got his arms around me. And I remember it's my choice to move forward. It's it's hard, but what I do, I speak positive into the universe. I speak it out there. I'm blessed, I'm loved, I'm grateful, I'm thankful. You have to say those things, because what you project out, you should expect in. And then I recite John 1:9.
Recite it.
No, I'm sorry, Joshua 1:9.
Recite it.
For the Lord commanded me to be strong and brave, not to ever be afraid or discouraged, for he is the Lord my God, and he will be with me wherever I go. 2 Timothy chapter 1, for the Lord did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind.
And that's a choice, even in choosing the verses.
Yeah, it stuck out to me. You know, it just that I know that one right there. I meant Joshua, not John. My grandma was saying John 1:9. That's why. And it was so. I forgot what what was that for? But the Joshua 1:9. But yes, you know, I have to. It's challenging every morning. It's not easy, you know, but I would listen to things that are positive. One guy, his name is Ralph Smart. I love him to death. You know, everybody has their different ways, whatever they believe, religious. I'm just an open person, but I know who I am and what I'm walking to. So you know, other people's opinions, what they rightfully to it, but mine is mine. But I always take the positive out of it.
How are you doing in
regardless.
school?
Oh, Lord Jesus, we had midterms. Oh my gosh.
What
I'm
are
doing
you
good
taking in
though.
school?
It's just challenging. Right now, I'm taking to be a human service. My BA is human services, mental health illness. There we go. So I'm getting my BA in that.
Okay.
Yes.
In mental health services.
Yes. So
Okay.
that way, social services, so that way I can give out to the community. So that's my main things to get in the community, and especially in the lower income communities. Because I remember when I was younger, and actually I'm from Oakland, California, Raider Nation. You know, I'm a Raider just in case. So
Well,
you know.
they're moving to Las Vegas. What does that
I
mean?
know, but they still
does
gonna
that
be
mean?
Oakland for me.
Okay.
You know, look, they stay in one more year. But yeah, so when I'm not gonna lie. What was I saying?
I don't know, but you got lost with the Raiders, but
With the
that's
Raiders.
okay. Most of the Raider fans are lost. And
Oh my
well, I'm just saying you moved here to Southern California.
Yes.
We've got a tremendous team down here that you probably
Rams now.
will end up cheering for.
You know what? When I watched the Super Bowl, I was really shooting for them, but I already knew the Patriots gonna win. And actually, I went to high school.
You say that you were rooting for the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
but you say also that you knew the Patriots were going to win.
Yeah, 'cause
for
they
a
always-
person that walks by faith, saying one thing and believing the other, the one that you say is not
That's
as
like wavering
strong as
through
the
faith.
one that you believe. So
Exactly.
you sat there cheering
I like
for
how you said
for
that.
the Patriots that whole time.
No, it's just
No,
because
no,
they
no,
cheat.
no. Let's get into.
Yeah, no,
I'm
because they
just
cheat.
kidding.
Look, they cheat. But I do want to give it up. I know he's like, oh my God, girl, I don't remember you. But for Patrick Chung, I went to high school with him.
Okay.
So I do remember him. It's just a blessing. If you watch this, I'm just very proud of you. Very proud of your success, and you keep up the good work.
Except
I've
against
always,
the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right, so
Just give me a ticket, though.
Your goal of a mental health worker.
Yes, to be a mental health worker, to get out there in those low income communities, to help these young children, these and also the families, because it's a lot of disconnection within the families nowadays, you know, and it's like, it's just the way I grew up, and not to say everything was right even back then, but it was more, I grew up in a family, more of a family oriented home, not to say everything was right or perfect, but it was just the way it was, from seeing my grandparents down to my mother, to seeing, you know, how things were. So just to help out there. And I remember we had a lot of things. I stayed busy. We had a lot of community centers where I was at. So I'm trying to figure out why it's not a lot of community centers, why it's not a lot of help here. You know, you guys can fund these prisons and private prisons, but you guys can't fund these young children.
Well, the thing is that you have an idea and a goal and the attitude that's going to take you to that and through that. And I wish you all the success in the
Thank
world
you.
in doing what you are planning to do and what you're doing now. And your mental health movement is a very important one in our community.
Thank you.
I would wonder why someone who's going into mental health, however, would burden themselves down by being a Raider fan, but that's okay. You all of this to say, I'm really proud to meet you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you for
have no
having
doubt
me.
that you're going to be very successful, and the world's going to be a better place because of you.
Yes,
Hook
thank
it
you
up.
so much. Thank
Very
you. I
good.
do appreciate you.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
having me.
I want to thank you guys for joining us. As you can see, the attitude that you choose will help determine the road that you're going to walk, and that all of us are scarred to some extent, but there's a way for us to take those scars and take the attitude from trauma through tears to triumph. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.